That is a leader. When you study Muslim history, Omar al-Khattab was a man who was in the head of the most power. Read his life. His life is amazing. This is a man who would stay up. Okay, first of all, when they asked him, do you want to, you're going to be what they call the caliphate, right? You will be the king of the Muslims, okay? In the aftermath of the Prophet's death, peace be upon him. There was one called Abu Bakr. He was the first caliphate. And then there was Omar al-Khattab. Omar al-Khattab, they came to him and said, you're going to be the king of the Muslims. He said, no. I don't want to be the king of the Muslims. I don't want to be... Okay, you go ask any stupid person today. And I say they're stupid because people don't think critically. We're going to make you the president. If someone asked me, do you want to be the president of the United States of America? I would say no.
Because?
Because I understand from a spiritual perspective that if I am in charge of this nation, I must answer to God on the day of judgment where there's no hiding. Enjoy your lives, all of you, you criminals, you people that destroy millions of people's lives and drop bombs and don't worry about it. Enjoy your time, man. That's why people say like, oh, where's God? Because to God, this is all a joke in my opinion, because he's outside of this. He knows in the end, he has the final say. And how we're crying for these babies that are being blown up, we're going to wish we were those babies on the day of judgment when we face our Creator. We're going to wish we were that baby. They won't even stand judgment because they died in the age of innocence. So these leaders, everyone, you tell me to be you want to be the president? I want to be the president. No, my friend, I understand that if I'm the president of this country, I will have to answer to God for every single decision that affected millions, and if you're the president of the United States of America, billions of lives. The reason Omar said no, and they forced him to become the king, they forced him, was because he understood, and it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's recorded in the history, that he would stay up all night when they forced him. They said, if you don't take this position, we will leave the kingdom with no ruler, meaning there will be chaos. Because they all knew he's the most honorable one of them. So for months he would stay up and pray and cry to God, and he would say, oh God, forgive me if a dog dies of thirst while I'm in power. That's his fear, a dog. Imagine how he would take care of his subjects. And he did. This is in recorded history. They conquered Persia. He was assassinated by the Persians in prayer. He's recorded as going all night around his city. He's the king. You show me another king in history that did this. And he would go throughout the kingdom. And he came across an encampment of a woman, the babies were crying in the middle of the night. Why are these? He didn't tell her, I'm Omar the king. He looked like a bum. He was dressed like a beggar. They would send ambassadors from all over the world. He'd be sleeping on the floor of the mosque. And there was like, we're here to meet the king of the Muslims. Like, it's that guy. This old man that's like laying on the floor that looks homeless. That's your king? Because he wasn't wearing gold and it's me. He was a true leader. The reason he didn't want the position was he's going to have to answer to God, why did you cut a tree down? A tree. Why did you cut a tree that didn't need to be cut down? Let alone how you treated every living subject.
And if that was doable, why wouldn't you do it if that's doable?
Because what do I think I would do the right thing for people? I would. I believe true leaders don't need to be elected. They don't need to have billions of dollars to spend. There is no free election here. Because if it was a free election, you wouldn't need billions of dollars in super PAC funds to become president, which is why they're all compromised, including Trump, and why he still goes along with certain agendas, even though I believe they're morally wrong. And we don't need to get into it. Now, is he better than the other side? The other side can't even figure out if a boy's a boy or girl's a girl. And if you're going to make me insult my own intelligence that God gave me, I will never align with you. So out of the lesser of two evils, that's why the majority went this way. That's what happened. We are diabetic as a nation, and we have a choice between Coke or Pepsi. Which one? Or you want to eat Snickers or Milky Way? Which one? They're both going to put you in diabetic shock, but which one are you going to choose? It's the illusion of choice. It's the illusion of freedom. A true leader does what's best for the people, not for themselves. A true leader doesn't even have to run for election because the people know this person cares more about the world and the people that are around him or her than they do themselves and their people. And you name me one leader that you can actually say exists on this earth. There's not one.
So think about America without a president.
No, we need a president, but we need, free election should be, any of us should be able to get on that platform, Now that we live in the digital age, why can't all the candidates that want to run go through background checks? Now we're on X Live. Everyone can speak. Why do we have to spend billions of dollars for these presidencies? That could be used to better our people. So it's not a fair election. There are people out there that might not be the richest, but they would probably be the best president we could ever have, and we'll never hear their voice. How are we getting the best? We're not. We're getting the establishment over and over and over and over again. And even if Trump's the best of the best in the world, 4 years from now, he'll be gone. And it'll be right back to where we were.
Yeah, we're probably, it just kind of goes back and forth.
Okay.
Because the left went too far left, so now America's
kind of psychotic.
They
lost their minds.
Kind of coming
you
back.
lost your minds. You need 30 different letters to describe a human being's sexuality. You've lost your mind. Seriously, I'm not even saying that. It's sick, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, it's sick. It's sick. There's something wrong here. And it's not to pick on that community. Live your life however you want. You have that right as an American. Doesn't mean I agree with it, but you don't have a right to push you. Islam is a lifestyle. Christianity is a lifestyle. It is a way of life to follow Christ, to follow the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, to follow Buddha. These are lifestyles. These are not just faith. This is a lifestyle choice. Cool, you got your lifestyle. You want to call yourself a man, a woman, a LG, whatever you want to call yourself. You have that right as an American. What you do not have a right is to push your lifestyle onto my lifestyle. So what I say, the easiest way in America, you live your life, I live my life, and we coexist. How hard is that? But what the media did, what social media has done, is galvanize these groups, laser focus on less than 0.5% of the American population. Okay, we're talking about transgenderism. Less than 0.5%. This is what we talk about all day. They're not even the majority. We're wasting all this energy and DEI and millions of dollars and fighting and protesting, not by accident. This is an agenda to destabilize or to incur a color revolution, which is how you topple a superpower. You create ideology, and by making people stay silent, and a lot of you were cowards, a lot of you out there, knowing that you know it's wrong. Because everyone I talked to, I didn't hear anyone standing up for that group. I talked to thousands of people. I didn't see anyone really standing up because they're not even, how many people do you know that want to go and chop off their organs? Seriously, I've met one. We met one. And if I'm being fair, it was a he that chopped off we were in Fort Lauderdale, whoever you are, very happy. It wasn't like they say he wanted to take his life. Who knows? He's like the best thing I ever did. Okay, great. You know what? I don't have a problem with that. As a matter of fact, as a straight man, less competition. That's one less man trying to be with a woman. So, off the record, do I agree with it? No. Do I think spiritually it's wrong? Yes, I do. It does not go with my faith or Christianity, right? But as a straight man, I hope they all become gay. There's more women for me if I was single. But I'm saying that's how I always thought. Could you imagine if George Michael was straight? There wouldn't have been a single woman left on earth. Thank God he was gay. I'm not joking. It's just a joke, though.
It's a joke,
It's a joke. But you get my point. I don't got a problem. You want to live that lifestyle? Do I agree with him morally? No. Do I believe spiritually you're in trouble? Yes. People go, well, they're born like that. So let me explain to you how that works. I have friends and family that were born completely crippled, paralyzed. I had a cousin with the same name, God rest his soul. His name was Beck. He was born, he couldn't move a single muscle. He lived in agonizing pain most of his life. Okay? Was that fair? No, that was not fair. That was the test that God gave him and his family. I believe he's definitely in heaven because what could he have done wrong except his whole life excruciating pain? That may be tragic to us, but to the Creator it might be like, this being is going to suffer for a little while because it's a test to the being and to the family.
To those around him, yeah.
But in the next life, which doesn't end, it's forever, we're going to wish we were them. There's recordings of this in Muslim tradition of the people that suffered in this earth. And when they stand on the day, they don't even stand, half of them. Just Judgment Day itself is such a trial and tribulation to see the hellfire, to see God in all of his glory, to see all of the prophets with their nations, and have to answer for everything we've done, Catalina.